Hmm. Wait. Wonder which one's the real me. Sometimes there are weird glitches, and this is one of them. One of me is slightly slower than the other one. Oh man, I'm easily irritated. I'm not exactly sure how this happened, but it disconnected me and then reconnected me. But when it did, like there's two of me now. So that's a thing. So, good evening or good morning, fellow clones of Spaceship Earth. It is and I, and we are Guy, coming to you live from Applewood Station, where it is 19 degrees already. Oof, it's going to be pretty warm today. And like all things are kind of interesting. I don't know why there's two of me, but this was funny for a minute or two. Now I'm not as entertained. Oh, I still have an echo. That's not good. Maybe the other one. Do I still have an echo over here? Ooh, I do. If there's any way to boot me. Oh, I'm a guest. I can remove me. Now it's just me. Look, I removed me and now I'm just here. It's just me. Further proof that with time I will figure things out for better or for worse. Sometimes not necessarily for better. Anyway, today we'll start with classical. Let's see what we've got. Oh, I see where I am. I'm over here. I got kicked. There we go. That works. All right, back to the work we were working on when we worked on Worky Work yesterday. All right. The thing about solar systems is they don't seem to be I need to kind of make not necessarily a comet tail, but like a comet tail. And so what I think I want to do make a markedly larger ring. And then I think I'm going to rotate this ring. So we made a larger ring, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and put it up here, where its pivot point's kind of there. And we're going to rotate this ring 90 degrees. And 90.1 degrees per. All right. Now, the thing about this is I'm going to make sort of this coronal thing. So what's what's happening is all solar systems generate charged particles out the top and the bottom of the system. Those charged particles exit the sphere of influence of the system, and once they do, they're blown backwards because they fall to a certain speed, at which time it's irrelevant really for those terms. But that does mean that the charged particles are still here. They're just not as did I just make that not as, yeah, see, that's not what I want. More like this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the back here, and I'm going to turn on the function here. This is a this is what we call proportional editing. And it means that whenever I pull one part of it, the rest of it follows like that. And I'm just going to bring that proportional editing up so that it eats through a good portion of this. I'm going to change that to smooth. So what we're doing is extending the tail of this out. And what that's causing is it's causing sort of this effect behind it. Let's see what happens when you do that. That's what we're looking for. Sharp, right? Because this is this trail of charged particles that's coming out from behind the system. And take all of this, and what I can actually do is things like take the middle here and do stuff like this. And with that proportional editing, we can kind of wiggle it a little. And what this is going to end up being is effectively a sphere on the side that shows an extra set of ring units, so to speak. I should bring my proportional editing down quite a bit. There. What I'm doing is I'm just kind of working this to make it do sort of that I'm going to turn on proportional editing because now it's starting to be a pest. Actually, and the problem with this same problem with the last one. And actually, the truth of the matter is I'm not sure I like it too terrible much. It makes it look like it's got a toupee on top of it. I think I've made it too biological, when in reality, it's just an exclusion zone. It could actually be this guy duplicated. In fact, I think I will just do that. I was making this too difficult. When you're talking about star maps, there's just a top and bottom exclusion zone. You don't need to worry about it. It's just an exclusion zone. Stay away from this zone. It's that simple. You know? It's kind of like, you don't have to worry about it too terrible much. And it shouldn't have to be that complicated. The problem is, I didn't do it right. Because that's what it needed to be. Because it needs to be its own thing. Okay, so we're doing it again. There we go. What? I don't want to select both of them. There we go. And it looks weird, but it'll be fine when we finally get this in there. No. I need to project from view. Right here. Oh boy. There we go. Nope. Now what we'll do is we'll select one half of it. Oh, this is harder to do because it needs to be like this. We select only one half. And then we subtract this from that group. Why is the feedback switch not on? There's our feedback switch. There, that's what we wanted. Always interesting when something weird like that happens, but yeah, no, we'll work with it. Do the other half. And just like, well, that didn't work like I wanted it to. Okay, let's just all over again because I made a mistake. Turn it back onto here because we gotta grab everything that fits like so. And the thing about this is that I've got to kind of grab all of these things on top. Now we'll move this out of the way. That should help us a whole lot right there. Now we can grab only one on the left side. Oh, you forgot one key part piece there. All right, select that. Deselect that part. Then do the unwrap. I'm like all happy about the, ooh, let's get this job done. find it intriguing that there are two triangles that decided not to connect. No idea where those triangles are. Right at the very, very bottom. They technically belong to one or the other of these sides, but it doesn't really matter. Anyway, here's what we're going to do. Rotate this 90 degrees. And put it right here. Same with this guy. I'm going to rotate him 90 degrees. Move him right here. Because both of them are technically larger than the and they both should be larger than the coma. They don't need to be the exact same size, but you want them to be very close. Because you're going to have to map them with a grid of some sort. So we're going to need to know, or they're going to have to be at least accurate. And you want the lines to not look weird when they travel from one part of the map to the other. There we go, that's the top. These guys are just funny. I'm going to stick them there. Now, the question really is, now that I've done this, can I put it in object mode and then delete that one and then just duplicate it again? And if so, will I end up with a second set of these guys? And can I just move it over here and then go into object mode and do this plus this, and then go into edit mode, and do I get both of them? Oh, I do. Dun dun dun. All right. Which means I don't have to do this again, which is nice. We just need to map one and the other maps. So that's cool. Now all you need to do is map this guy in the middle. That's this. No. I do the same thing we just did with the other one. I want to give it a global setup. That's kind of how you do spheres. What typically happens is at some point you end up with too distorted of an image. Now, I've captured both the top and the bottom. So when I say project from view, it looks like it's only one thing, but it's really two, because we got the top and the bottom. So what I'm going to do is with this, as I projected it, I'm going to remove the bottom and then move this over like so. And that's the top. And then I'm going to take the bottom and we're going to go from the bottom and say project from view so that it's inverted. Because you really don't want that to be, if you project it from the top looking through it, then it projects it in reverse. And then if you draw anything on it that has numbers, which we might decide that this globe doesn't have a lot in the way of like warning signs of any sort, but it does have some things that it needs to say as part of its globe. So, and then we're going to do the same thing we just did with the other one. We're going to go through and just select one half of it. It's just going to be the left half of it. And then I'm going to remove this part. I'm just going to say project from view. Uh-oh, we're missing two. We're missing two from the very front. So we're going to do it again. Just grab like that. Just make sure we grab it. Which might make those front pieces indecipherable. In fact, I'm kind of thinking this entire front piece might be completely indecipherable if we don't do it this way. Kind of not liking the way that kind of looks there. And maybe we should probably do something a little bit more like this. We don't need to go too far. And somewhere we end up on the front of the globes, like there. And we can just kind of do that. And then say, project from view. And it gives us the front of the sphere. And that means whenever I do this, I can now go like all of this and just say to the right and project from view. And that gives us just to the right. And from the top, we'll select the whole damn thing and remove all the things that have actually been done already and go over here and say project from view. And we'll get the other side too. And then that gives us this entire coma in a way that I can map it, and it makes some sense. So another thing I want to do is probably select just the pieces parts of this. Like, grab just that. Dang it. Dang it. Don't be stupid. Grab this, move him back a little. Because they're a little too close. There you go. And then from here, I'll say project from view. And wait. So whatever is the relative size you've got over here is going to be the size of the thing. So you'll notice it gets bigger because I got closer, right? So if I take this and then flip it to the other side, project from view, this side goes like this, right? If I take this and go from the very front and say project from view, now I've got something that's the same grid size, right? Side, project from view. This is the same size. It matches right here. Grab this, go to the other side. And now all of these match as far as the size of their of the grids that they're using. So I'll do this and do this and do this and go like this, right? But at least now, whenever I do this grid, you can see it's all the same size, which is important later on. I'm going to try to make these match and things like that. It's be important that this grid all sort of fits. So now we can take all of this guy, move him down here, and that's this. And now when we grab this and this and that and go into edit mode, you can see we have all three of these. Now doing the same thing. Kind of wish I'd done the same thing with these upper coma that we did with the lower coma, because I didn't think about that until later. So now I'm kind of like, I'm going to go into object mode and do the same thing. Get rid of this guy because we have to just duplicate him. And put him all here. Go into edit mode. Now go like this. We have to get close over here so we can figure out what all the pieces are. Right, maybe we can add these guys while we're at it. It's the same thing. I'm kind of feeling like I didn't grab all the pieces of this guy. Which is fine. We probably ought to grab the front and separate it out as well, like we did with the other one. And kind of go in here and grab some of these front pieces. Like certainly at least these guys. Maybe those guys too. So you can project that one. Giving us the front of it feels a little bit better. I also feel like we should probably be taking one more. It's hard to find this angle and decide whether we're taking that one or not. All right. So now what we're going to do is this. We're going to get it all on screen like so. And then we're going to uniform it. So I'm going to project it from view. Take that one like that. Grab the front. Go to the front and say project from view. And that'll make it very small, but that's all right. And grab this side. And grab here and go project from view. And we'll go like this. And then we'll grab this side and flip to the other side and project from view. And now what we've done is they're all uniform, which is important. All right. This guy we can now work with and adjust him properly. The other thing this has made me think about, though, is how important it is for us to flip this 180 degrees too when we put it underneath there. Otherwise, the bottom one there we go. All right. There we go. So that's this top piece. And we've made that work. And then I want to go back into object mode. Now we can say copy and paste. I'm going to drop that one down here. And these exclusion zones. This guy needs to be rotated 180 degrees out. There we go. And then that way. There we go. And that will get us all three of these. Here's the large one. Which can put us there. And then we'll take this guy. And maybe this guy. Now I'm kind of like, how am I going to do all of this? How am I going to do this? What was your battle plan? These end up looking like Klingon ships of the dead. There we go. And with that, we have the first piece of this ready to go. And not quite. Actually, I think what I want to do is I want to rotate him like this. We'll make this the centerpiece of this particular grid. There. And this will allow us to put more things on here as time goes on. I got a few pieces in here that could go straight on right away. In object mode, these poles, no matter which way you put them, both of these poles are going to just end up being black. I'm not messing with this stuff. So, in edit mode, we take both of these guys And we just select them like so. And just say project from view. And then I don't have to worry about them. They are these two poles. They live out here. We'll just make them black. That's all. I think it's going to be difficult as this device. Because all of... I'm going to actually turn that off temporarily so I can see inside here. Because I can't see inside here until we get that done. The next thing we want to do is pretty straightforward. Do this disc. And we're just going to say project from view. And that gives us the top of the, this is the planetary disk. And so what I'm going to actually do from this point is I'm going to go into this naked mode here. Naked mode. And we're going to capture only 1/4 of this at a time. Actually, we're going to capture all of it first to make sure it's flat. Remove you and you. And go here because this is very thin. And project it from view like so. And take the top here. And we're going to remove 1/4 of it at a time. Yeah, you know what? I don't think I'm worried about it too much. Maybe I'm not. I don't want the bottom of this to be used. So I'm going to shrink it all the way down to make it infinitely small so I don't worry about it. And that's the bottom part of this disc. The top part's going to be vital. The top part is the actual disc itself, but the bottom is going to have to be the top part's going to be where we're going to show the actual solar system. So I need that to be what it is, but the bottom, shrug, whatever. You know, I'm not that pushed. Now we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go back into object mode. We're going to go here. We're going to go into edit mode, and we're going to just select this side. And it's already kind of nicely done for us because we just need to make sure that we know which side's which. It looks like this doesn't need to be exact though. There we go. And this guy, it's not a big deal. We just do this. And we say the same thing we did before. Project from view. I mean, maybe we will do the inside and the outside as separate, but for the most part, not that pushed. And we'll go into here, and what we'll do is this. We'll say, there we go. Why are you doing that? Yeah, I don't think I care enough for that to be a thing. I mean, if I ever get around to it, I guess. But I'm not really thinking I'm going to worry too terrible much about that because it's probably never going to happen. Just saying. That's the outer lock ring. All right. I'll put that over here so that it's not in the way. Because now we need to do the other lock ring, which is the other direction. That's you right here. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to go into edit mode. Just select this top part. because this is the part you're going to see. I'm going to say project from view because it's added a weird function to the bottom of it. I don't know. So we'll do the same thing from the bottom. I don't think we're going to do anything with the bottom, but for the moment, I'm going to just pretend I know what I'm doing here. Kind of important. Bet you this is these front pieces. No, not even. Where is this? Inside of this plane. That's a weird spot, but I might need it. So what we're going to do, I'm going to grab you and you and go on this side and say project from view, and that gives us this inner plane in a way that makes sense. It's readable. No matter what, this inner plane right in here is going to be important because it's the guides that go into the actual the you and you. And then we'll go to this side, do the same thing, unwrap, project from view. And that gives us these two, which makes some sense that it's doing that, but mostly no. All right, the outer ones are going to be also important. So you, let me project you from view. And you're on this side, out. You project from view, outside, out. And we'll come up here and grab you. Oh. Here's the front right there. So now what we've done is we've kind of just indicated all the pieces here. I may or may not use anything along this outer edge, but if there is, I'm going to make sure it's readable. I'm going to do the same thing we did before. Go over here. We're just going to say project from view. And once we've got this, then we can go from the top, and subtract these points from it. It should give us just the outside. Take that, then just pull it. Ooh, ah. Did not go the way I wanted it to, because we need to not be there. We need to be here. Make sure it only grabs the outside. There we go. Hey there, Jackson. How you doing? There we go. Yes, no, maybe so. I don't know. Maybe? Why does it feel? I don't know. Work stuff. Gotcha. And nothing wrong with it, I guess. There's the inner ring. If I ever use that, we have no idea if I ever will or not. We'll see. This is the outer ring, though. We will use that. No, you got it backwards. It doesn't surprise me. It's always backwards. Yeah, that's more like it. Work stuff. Let's see. There we go. Project from you. I feel like this is one of those things where I should be kind of, I don't know. I feel like I'm making my life harder. You ever had those moments where you're sure you're actually doing this and making it actually harder? It's actually not going to be easier because of what I just did. This is top, yeah? Yes, top. Yes, top. Get to that. There we go. I'm just making sure that they're all scaled correctly. Yep. Bottom, which I don't think I need to be scaled correctly, but I'm gonna do it anyway for right now because rather make that decision in a minute. All right. Now everything's been mapped properly and everything is to the correct scale. So now what I have to do is make it work. And like I said before, I am not going to use the bottom of this. So I'm going to oubliette it. It'll become a black dot when we start doing the mapping on it. This goes right here, as does this. So this then is the outside, which actually is going to go right here. And I'm just going to connect it to this outer line. Which actually I could probably just kind of keep going with this. Like that. And then the inner line will need to be turned around, but it actually probably could also just do the same thing. Since the odds are good that mostly what I'm going to use this for is to just put hash marks along it to show that there are hash marks here. Then it's probably okay for us to do it that way. And I'll just do this side the same way. There, there, and ultimately there, and then we'll just zoom in for that. Until it all docks properly. Boop. There you go. I'll come along here and go. Oop. Hey there, Mihawk. How you doing? Oof. I'm going to see whether we can dock this properly. There we go. Are you tapping at my door? Are you like a raven or something? You ever felt raveny? Have you checked everywhere? All right.
You want to see about trying to get a hold of that guy when you could do so to talk to him?
I already messaged I messaged our buddy. Okay. Since I'm still live, I'm going to try not to say people's real names.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No. It's all good. You're not bothering me.
No, but you're doing something. When will you be done streaming?
At 11 o'clock, which is one of the reasons why I'm like, don't worry about it too terribly much. I got caught up in mapping this, and so I'm having fun here. And then, okay. Oh, you got accepted to college in Turkey?
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome,
I don't even know who you are. Congratulations.
It does mean, though, you're going to have to leave your island. I'm just saying. And considering how pretty Cyprus is, I'm just saying, you have to go home a lot. But good luck, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. That is the best. No more sea people stuff. That depends. Now, if you go into Turkey and you go into archaeology, that's true. Would you take a ferry? I mean, you could. Like, would you take a boat or would you take an airplane? I mean, that's so close. Turkey is so close from Cyprus, you could take a helicopter. But I guess for passenger fare, that probably wouldn't be the average thing to do. Most people probably do not tootle back and forth to Cyprus from Turkey via helicopter. I would, but that's because I love helicopters. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's a ferry. But congratulations, Mihawk. What are you thinking of going into? What's your field O study? What you want to look at? Excuse me. I'll stay on a little longer and we'll talk to Mihawk about this because that's kind of cool. Okay, the music's getting beady, 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 beady. It's starting to drive me crazy. Law. There you go. Nicely done. Well, congratulations, my friend. Congratulations. Law is one of those things that I'm always fascinated with because no matter, I mean, like, as the world gets more and more global and as we start connecting more, law stops being jurisdictional and starts being more sort of universal. I mean, all there are a lot of things that are very that are obviously universal. Don't We don't hurt one another. If we hurt one another, that's very much against the law. But you end up with, is it against the law to build this building here, or is it against the law to build this building there? So, oh yeah. So my dad was in Sinop in the 60s, and he loved Turkey. He thought it was a wonderful place. And he has all these pictures. Someday when you're in Turkey, I'll pull up his pictures and we'll see if we can't find the same places and stuff. It is. It's a really interesting place. He had so much fun when he was there. I mean, he was there for kind of a bad reason because it was the middle of the war, but he still enjoyed his time and he enjoyed the city of Sinop so much. But, you know, and the Turkish people didn't mind him, because they were on that side of the war. But I'm sure that had they been Russian, they probably would not have been as ecstatic about his work there, because he was working. It was during the Cold War. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it is far away. But I mean, you've got a bus and then a ferry and then you're home, and that's good. Okay, you're part of the oubliette. You go over here. Jork to the oubliette. All right. Are you apprehensive? Are you like nervous about going to college, or are you excited? Go there with by helicopter and take pictures. I will live vicariously through you. Ah, Mihawk, that'd be so awesome. A helicopter is one of the few things I have not flown on yet. Excellent. I want to fly in a helicopter so bad. And I have a list of helicopters I need to fly on in my life. My bucket list involves a lot of airplanes and boats and things. My bucket list involves all kinds of things. So that's fair. I mean, I come from a big country. You know, I come from a place where you get in the car and you do 120 kilometers an hour, and it still takes days to get anywhere. You know what I mean? At 120 kilometers an hour, I'm still like chugging through Kansas. It's like, so to me, I love little places because I grew up in a big place. And I can see that the reverse would be true. If you grew up in a little place, you'd want to be in a big place. When I was in Japan, I lived in the countryside. which was so fascinating to me. And everybody was like, why would you want to live in the countryside? And I'm like, because I live in the big city in real life. My home is a big city. And so the countryside was so nice. And it was so different. And so I think all of us want to, yeah, Jackson and I, Art Crumbs and I, are in the same country, but we are literally days apart. Like it would take days of driving for me to get to them. Days. Days, I tell you. Days. Yeah, that's like Hawaii. I've been on Hawaii, and it's the same thing. You can do the entire trip in one day. Well, I'm glad. I am I'm glad you're going to college. I think that's exciting. That is so cool. I'm looking forward to hearing about your life in Turkey. Right? That's probably true. I could probably push through the night if I had a lot of Red Bulls and stuff. But it would have to be. There we go. I'm gonna do that. Go to the side. This is where things get kind of weird. Yeah. Yeah, but it's cool. And see people. I'm just saying. Still see people. Although probably not on Cyprus. Well, I don't know. We don't know for a fact that they're not on Cyprus, right? They could be. No one knows because they won't tell anybody their name. If you're wondering what this inside joke is, Jackson, which you probably are because you're like, what's the story? Um, in archaeology, we were talking about the area. Um, oh, you learned something today. We were talking about the area where Mihawk lives. Mihawk lives on Cyprus. And I was like, oh, Cyprus. In archaeology, we were talking about the Mediterranean and all of the cultures that were in the Mediterranean that formed up thousands of years ago. And the problem is that there was like the sea people, and it kept saying the sea people. And like they didn't have a name, they were just called the sea people. And it bothered me because you have the Minoans, you have, all of these people who are coming through there, you have the Egyptians, and then you have the sea people. And I was like, really? So we've been talking about the sea people. Right. That's exactly the thing. That's why they bother me. The sea people were considered a nation. Their name, the sea people. Which, right, they were not connected to anybody. And that's bizarre to me. I mean, not really bizarre, but it's like, okay, but why? The Atlanteans! Now we've found them. That's it. Mihawk, we have solved this all. We shall now be famous in history. You and me as discovering and working out this whole thing. They were from Atlantis. We figured it out. We've been having way too much fun, probably at the expense of the sea people. So, if we get attacked by the sea people, you'll know this is because of our fault, because we were making fun of them. I'm just saying. We brought it on ourselves. This is just awesome. I'm glad. I'm glad you're going to college. You and me will both be in college at the same time. We'll be doing the college thing. Okay, that's... We need to make sure we got this going right. Because that's you. And you are you. Otherwise, I'll never... That's true. Sea people really didn't have the gun thing going for them, did they? They're kind of bad at the gun part. Weren't really good at that gun part. Right? You know what's so interesting, though? There once was a time where your island was considered huge. Like, it was the biggest thing out there. Isn't that interesting? Because to you, it's so small. And that makes sense, because Japan is so small. But there once was a time where, like, because I went to Japan and, you know, drove around and I went everywhere, and you could do the same thing. You could go all the way across the island in a day. And that was like, well, okay, you know. And so, but it was the same thing. You were like, there once was a time where this was massive, and people just spent forever trying to get, you know, around on it, and it was huge and stuff. It is. You've got good real estate. That's the whole thing. There we go. Okay, what are these guys? Now I'm like, what are you? Where are you? Oh, there. I feel like this could be just done this way. I don't think I need to make this that complicated. I'll just go on ahead and do the left-right split, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. No, really, I guess. I feel like we've never seen somebody with that before. Oh my god. That's the other thing that's so funny when I'm in Japan is you become sort of a minor celebrity because you don't look Asian. And everybody is Asian in Japan. They're all Japanese, and there's so few people who are a different ethnicity that it's just like, wow, they all come completely unglued. It's so funny. Are you feeling okay? The person's like, I'm fine. Why? Oh, I like that. That's funny. That's funny. That's cute. All right, let's go ahead and extend out all the way. You're like, hey, hey. You probably not the world's best. Are you feeling okay? That's funny. I love it. These things make me laugh. All right. That's the other side. project from view. We'll do this. From view, we'll do this. And we'll probably just put it around that, because that's the inner core of those things. That's fair. I mean, and you can't expect English to be spoken everywhere, despite what other Americans seem to think. Americans seem to think that everybody has to speak English, but the truth is you can't expect that. It is hard, though. I mean, we don't have a lot in the way of language teaching here in America. And it's because a lot of people speak so many different languages that people just kind of do the, where is this? That's the front there. Yep. Well, you're in a cultural center. The Mediterranean there's a lot of people there that are from all these different cultures, and you're really close, you know? All right. We're just finishing this up. You're like, what are you doing? I'm really not 100% sure I know, but we'll find out here. You get a lot of people from all over the place. Where is this? I feel like this is another one of those random things. It is. It's just one dot. Really? You couldn't have just stayed with your other parts? I swear. All right. Rotate this now to 90 degrees. And move it over. And now we'll go over here and we'll work on this to make sure it's all nice and pretty. Like the random part that decided not to be part of the rest of this random part. Really? You just had to do that, did you? Did you? All right, because this will go here. Like so. This is the... Yeah. Tips off of the tourists. Well, I guess that's... Yeah, go to college, man. We gotta get you off the tourist vibe here. I'm on board with this plan. All right. Yeah. That's not any fun. Then is this top? Is this top? That's top. Okay. So we've got that, then this, then left. Yes, left. And then bottom. Oh, yeah. Do you have assistance for them? Something like a cultural assistance where the you can get them taken care of Because I agree with you. You don't want to be the only breadwinner and then have to go to. But I mean, you need to go to college. If you go to college, someday you and I might meet, like somewhere in the world. You never know. We might meet somewhere. Who knows? Anything could happen. See, that's kind of. Maybe. I'm like, do I like this? Maybe I don't. How close can we get here? How close can we get? I guess we can get really close because if it crosses over, I can still select it. I'll leave it because it does cross over, but only needs to be a little bit there. Oh, yeah. Do you need your part time job, though, to pay your school loans and school bills? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, remember that you have that. You're going to have to mess with that somewhere along the line. Actually, you know what? I'll bet you I could probably put this in this zone up here. Maybe? It might fit up there better than it fits down here. Oh, we've done it again. Yeah. Okay, that's probably true. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at my school loans and going, well, I'll be paying these off for another 20 years. I'm actually sitting there going, I wonder if I'm going to die before I pay all my school loans off. I mean, die of old age, no less. Not just die, but die of old age. And the school loans are going to be haunting me forever and ever and ever. So you're right. It's probably a whole lot cheaper when it's not here. The land of the free and the home of the pay. All right. I think I'm happy with this, except for this part. Not happy with this part. This part's not a happy thing. Okay, here we go. We're going to take. I'll put you right here. Okay, I'm going to pull this all the way out over here because we're about to now take a look at the entire unit. So I'm going to bring back the outer spheres and we're going to go object mode. We're going to select everything. I'm going to go into naked mode even because there's a star in here somewhere, which we'll put all of that in edit mode. And now we can see kind of what we're dealing with. So the star has got a problem child. We're going to have to go in there and mess with that star first. Not everything showed up either. Okay, first things first, let's get that star. Dang it. All right, go into edit mode. Let's take this guy and just get him out of the way. Because I'll bet you all that's left is that star. The star lives at the center core here. So if we go to object mode and select just the star, and then go into edit mode, you'll see how it just takes up the entire thing here. And we really don't need it to be, I mean, it's just a star. So we'll make it a small quadrant somewhere and move it off to the side. That's the star. The star is just going to be one color. So, I mean, it's going to be a star unless you're trying to get into this map and be markedly more complicated. There's no reason to do that. So, making sure I have everything selected. Yes, okay. Now that everything is here, we can now take a look at the entire unit. There's the solar system from the top. Here's the outer ring control. Here's the inner ring control. And apparently part of the solar system bottom. Here's the star. Bring it over here. Here's the entrance path and guidance lines. And here are the outer, the outer clouds. I'll place the clouds first because they're the most complicated. And here, of course, are the poles. Okay, we're going to go for another few minutes and then we'll be finished with this, and then we can go on and go for the rest of our evening or day, depending on where you are in the world. I'm going to move this over here, and that'll take up that space. And all I'm trying to do is just maximize my space, as much usage as I possibly can. The star can live down here, and it's a star, so, we'll just make it chartreuse. All stars are chartreuse. Everybody knows that. The way it goes, you just can't tell because they're so bright. It's a bright color of chartreuse. This is why you should never take astronomy from me. You'll never get the right answer. What color are stars? Chartreuse. Naturally. All right. At some point here, very soon, I'm going to have to actually help my roommate who wants to do some work at his house. So that's why he's poking around. So we will do that. But I want to finish this real quick because I got up late and I got started late. There we go. Yep, I do. I have a Discord server. Wait. We have to turn on the server. We don't have to turn on the server. I have to load Discord. Give me just a second here, though. Create invite, copy. I've gotten better at this now. I'm not awesome at it, but gotten better. Go to the chat. Put it in the chat. There you go. No, wouldn't that be cool? Oh, wait, I should set up. Well, somebody's going to have to figure out how to set up that command someday. Odds are good it's not going to be me because I'm bad at that. But that's all right. Here's the oubliette. The oubliette lives in this corner. And that includes you. No. You. No. Oh, well. Here's the outer ring. And I'll even move the inner ring. I don't even know why they're crossed like this, but we'll move the inner ring around it. And actually, what I should do is take the outer ring and the inner ring controllers and put them together so that they all have sort of the same critter going for them. I think that's. I think this guy is the. Oh, that's the inner. I know what this is. This is part of the oubliette. We have to oubliette stuff. Eh? Oh. Hey, look at you doing the right thing there. You're part of the oubliette too. And you're the inner, right? Yep. So you can oubliette. Okay. Do I have to approve you? I probably shouldn't have to approve you. I think anybody can join out there in the duck pond. Yeah, see? I can say hi with apparently a freaking out. I don't know. Why is it screaming? I don't know. I'm a little freaked out by that. I'm just saying. Not sure why the thing started screaming, but then it did, and there we were. Okay, so I'm going to put you like this. I'm going to put you like this. And then we're going to put you in the middle, like Malcolm. This is really tight. Much worse than I expected it to be. Not horrible, I guess, but I could probably be more efficient with it. And then get just a little bit more space. Because this is almost able to fit right in between those landing zones. So I can just take this whole piece and go like this. Right there. Bam! Look at that. Jump back. All right. There. Now I think everything on here has gotten put into this. Took a lot of work, but we got there. I'm going to crunch my oubliette down into even more of an oubliette. There we go. Super crunchy. Look at that. Everything over here is the bottom of something. I don't need to worry about it. All right. Now we're going to save. And what we're going to do is twofold. One, I'm going to take this guy over here. I'm going to say export UV map image and export. Where is it? Export UV layout. All right, PNG. But what we want is 8,000 by 8,000. All UVs. Okay. Then we're going to say star system gravity alignment rig. Okay. And then we're going to export the layout. Make sure that all goes. Uh-oh. You do weird things in there. Oh, Lyra made it end too. Hi, Lyra. In case that Lyra didn't know. All right. So we've exported the map, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. We're still exporting the map. This shouldn't take this. Well, I guess I did tell it to do something big. It is an 8,000 by 8,000 map. Now the question is, if I'm over here and I'm in the holograms, what does that look like? I'm going to ask a silly question, like why is it exterior holograms? I have this horrible feeling that we didn't do it right. Where did it save it to? Okay. There are two objects here. I don't know where it's saving these objects, but we'll find it. So part of the problem I've got is I've got a backup. And sometimes it saves the items to the backup instead of saving it to my OneDrive. And that's part of the confusion that goes on here. All right. So the first thing I know is this. This guy is his own thing. So we're going to go over here. And we're going to say, is it object? No. It's file, export as a wavefront. Well, no, not as the experimental wavefront. That won't help us any. Export, just the normal wavefront. Thank you. Objects only, limit to selection only. That's important. And we're going to see it's on there's a backup out there. I don't want to save it to the backup. The problem is I can't ever find it whenever I'm. Okay, so generic items. Okay. Ships, holograms. Alignment rig. Top 2018. This is the top particle fountain. Export it, and then we'll do the bottom particle fountain. Save as. Nope. Export object bottom. Only, yep. All right. Now for the hard part. No matter what, everything will always be falling backward from the system. So all the system pieces can be together as one unit. So the star and the, nope, not you. Dang it. The star system will be in a different alignment, which means you and you and the poles and the star itself. These tilt depending on where the star is. Hey, some user. Well, welcome to the show. We have as much of a European contingent now as we do an American contingent on the show. 2 Europeans and 2 Americans. All right. This group is one object. And so I will say export as a wavefront object, selection only object, right? And this is the system. Solar system. Ish? Yes. Think this through. All right. This and all of this in the front, all of those guys then are always aligned the same direction. It never changes. If you're wondering why I'm talking so much, I'm trying to think this through. All right, so this then export as a wavefront object. And this is, you're in the midst of a thunderstorm. That sounds exciting. So we also kind of, as time goes on, we'll start getting kind of the afternoon thunderstorms, evening thunderstorms. Okay, so this is the solar system. Come on. Sphere of influence. Oh crap, we may have done something wrong. Because we need to do the material groups too. So this is the bottom particle fountain. Let's make sure the material groups are clicked. This is the top particle fountain. Make sure the material groups are clicked. We just did the sphere of influence, so let's go back in here and just real quickly grab the solar system itself. There's the star. No, see, you just clicked the wrong. Now, see, this is where everything goes out of control. You and you and you and you and this outer ring. That Oh, are you on the phone? I like how we can use our phones. We can't use our computers. That's funny. All right, export wavefront object. This is the actual solar system itself. Material groups are clicked. Export material group. Okay, let's test this to see if this works. Import. Holograms. You take all of these guys? Or can I not? Or is this one of those? No, you only do one at a time. Yeah, you only do one at a time. Fine. Whoo, it's huge. Well, I guess it makes sense. And then we'll import. Oh. We forgot a step. So Daz Studio does not take kindly to things that aren't in triangles. So you have to triangulate the whole thing and apply. That doesn't need to be triangulated. It's fine, but this one will. Because see, it does, otherwise it's going to get completely confused. So we have to. Although look at those triangles. Some wild triangles. Yeah, not you, but you. What happens is Daz can't quite figure out what to do with things. So triangulate the mesh. Do the same thing here. So then it jumps the mesh and it makes. You know what? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. But you can see here, I mean, part of the problem is you see how I made sort of a fin out of the whole thing? We don't need that. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Because we're going to redo all of these things. Daz is older and has its own set of weirds, but I'm just used to all the sets of weirds. So, it kind of, I don't know, sort of makes me, this is the top particle fountain. Click, 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 export. This is the bottom particle fountain. I have to think this through. Wavefront. Bottom particle fountain. Click, click, click. Good. And here is frontal alignment sphere. Right here. Ooh, you, 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 you. Yes-ish. Kind of. Daz is also kind of from that era. Blender has gone through a number of iterations where it exports wavefront object. And this is the sphere of influence. Click, 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 export. Right, now we're going to take you and you, you, and you. Man, this is hard because you have to get in here. You, and now you're really confusing to see. You, and you. And then that becomes the inner piece. Export wavefront object. And this is the solar system. Click, 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 go. Now Daz should import these fine. Import. Right. Accept that worked. Import. Except that also worked. Import. Except also worked. Good. Import. And then the last piece is this piece. Except, there we go. So now we've entered it all into DAS, and all of it's here. It's not mapped yet. We'll have to do that a little later. But the solar system is going to be the core. No, the sphere of influence is going to be the core. The solar system then will be connected to it. And this will be connected to that, and that will be connected to that. Which means that now I can take this guy and scale it down quite a bit. The whole thing can scale down to something reasonable, because that was a little big, right? And we'll bring them up onto here. Bring them over. Not scale them. Bring them over to here. And we'll zap in. There we go. And so now tomorrow or tonight when we get to this, we'll work on this a little bit more tonight, but I've got to go help my buddy. But we'll be able to see that in wireframe mode here, the thing that's significant about this is that you can take now the solar system alignment rig, which, oh no, it's not aligned properly. I'm going to have to redo that, but that's all right. We'll figure that out later. We can rotate that. We can rotate the star system so that it's at a weird angle, because star systems are not going to be aligned perfectly. Like that. And that will make these guys make these guys trail in a different angle, like so. Nope. Like this. There. And what that does is now we can show and depict that the solar system is at a tilt of a certain number of degrees. So the solar system is tilted up off of this. These two plumes up here are particle fountains that come from the top and the bottom of the star. When they do, they exit the sphere of influence, this sphere of influence right here, and then they immediately are blown back by the movement of the star. So as the star is moving along, it's pushing those particles backward. Well, in my comic, starships can't fly through those particles without slowing down. So you don't want to mess with that part of the solar system. So the best place to enter the solar system is through the very front of the sphere of influence, which is what this corridor shows right here. This corridor shows the best place to enter is through this front part. And now you'll be able to see the star and its solar system when we're done with this. We'll be able to see what the star system looks like inside here. And we can see that the star system is up by an angle, and that tilts this ring, which will show you what degrees it's at through the little marker on the bottom ring. So we've got a marker. It's kind of hard to see in this one. Let's do solid. We've got a marker on that ring, which has a point right here, and that'll show you exactly how many degrees up angle or down angle the solar system is, because the solar system tilts up. And when it does, this ring moves as well. So that's the way that works. This will all be semi-transparent in a little bit, but I need to do the maps first. That's why we did all the maps and mapping and then flattened them all out. Actually, it looks like this guy probably needs to be pulled back just a hair. Well, and then pushed up into that dome. That's more like what we're going to see. You can see we get a little bit more of a trail to the top than to the bottom because the solar system is tilted. And that's our new gravity alignment sphere unit for mapping a star system. So there's two types of mapping of a star system. There's the sort of the warp speed version, which is when a ship comes in faster than light travel, it has to follow a certain number of rules. And one of those rules is going to be that you can't travel inside the sphere of influence at any great speed. So the sphere of influence will be marked along with its particle trails on both sides, coming from the top and the bottom. I'm about done. I just had to put this in there. And so this is the entry corridor into the system. You can see where that is. And that gives you an absolute on it. So there's a point of which your system can identify when to enter and when to exit a system and where. From the system, it's going to be completely arbitrary. It's going to make no sense. Like, it won't make any sense at all. It's going to be a completely arbitrary thing. Like, it'll be like you'll leave the planet and you have to tilt down and go sideways just a little bit like this to go out and exit the system. It'll be like there'll be a door somewhere in the system, which is just somewhere around you. So, oh, yeah. I agree with you. Okay, guys, I got to go. My roommate's kind of doing the thing, although rightfully so. I was supposed to be clear at 11, but I wanted to finish this. So, we're going to go on ahead and clear out for the day. I'll see you tonight at the same prescribed time. Today is Thursday, yes? Today is Thursday. All right. Talk to you later. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening and day and night for some of you guys. I don't think we have anybody over on the Asia side. But I'll see you all later. One more time, Mihawk, congratulations. I'm glad to see that is going well for you, and I will talk to you all later. And as always, keep your eyes on the stars. Goodbye.